This deck I have found on MTG Goldfish, going for 1 preliminary, and looks extremely interesting. It's a sacrifice list, utilizing the standard, the engine from the standard format, the Bolas's Citadel, Warstrider, Kill, but instead dropping the food package and playing the like more traditional cards that are not available in standard. Catacomb Shifter is 2 permanents and gives you extra scry, so it can work with Bolas's Citadel to an extent too. Priest of the Forgotten Gods is just good in a deck like this. It's proved in Historic and Standard. Mayhem Devil is a little bit less potent in this deck than it is in Standard, I assume, because there is no Witch's Oven, so just the Warstrider, Catacomb Shifters, Eldrazi Scions, and Priest of the Forgotten Gods are there to trigger the Mayhem Devil. On top of that, you don't have that many red sources to play that card to begin with. Instead, often 7 sources plus the Gilded Gooses, so you're gonna be often relying on playing it with the Citadel or the Collected Company for the kill with Citadel, or just a good value card of a company. It's also a Collected Company deck, which is also super powerful, 32 hits, out of which the mana dorks maybe are not necessarily the most exciting. Blister Spot depending on the context, but you're gonna hit relatively often, and you are gonna be able to play the Bolas's Citadel surprisingly easily too. I mean, well, I don't know if that's gonna surprise anybody, but you're gonna be able to play it quite early too. You have 8 1-mana accelerants. You have Priest of the Forgotten Gods that can ramp you to Citadel. You have Catacomb Shifter that leaves a Scion, and Blister Spot if it dies, it also leaves you a Scion. It's all quite potent, all those add up, so I like the shape of the main deck, except for the maybe shaky mana. Because of course, wanting to play turn 1 green card every time, and then also wanting to play a triple black card in Bolas's Citadel, and also splashing the Devil. Makes me wonder if splashing the Devil is even worth it. But that's how the list appeared in the original preliminary that I copied it from, and we're gonna try it like that. So after much consideration, I'll put back the Zulaport Kafrod, but I'm not sure. I could see putting back the Priest of Forgotten Gods with this hand. Just because we have the like natural curve of Elf into a 3-drop, so that means that they don't play the Priest on 2, which then it still needs Summoning Sickness. It seems like we're playing against the Planeswalker deck, so... The upside of going Catacomb Shifter means that I go Company turn 3 always. Which means that my opponent, especially after starting with Oath of Nissa, it's not gonna be able to stick a Planeswalker turn 3. Nyx's Shrine to Nyx, yeah, it's that deck. It's not Niv Mizzet. Although, now that I drew the Blister Pot, I'm going to play Priest because that spends all of my mana, and then my opponent plays a 2-mana Dork. Can have a lot of mana next turn too. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, we could play Catacomb Shifter. Blood Artist does the effect on opponent's creatures too, right? Yeah, Blood Artist is better than Zulaport Kafrod for the most part. So I could play Catacomb Shifter, sacrifice 1, 2, 3, then we play land. Yeah, and we can play both Shifter and then Company. That's pretty powerful. So this is on the stack and the triggers are gonna be on top. So I'm gonna scry before drawing with the Priest. Hi Kanister, the Brazilians send a hack for you. Alright, good, good. Let's draw their Company, because why not? 2 black mana, then we play this. You literally cannot draw before the scry, I know. Which is why I said that that's gonna happen. Now we're gonna scry before the Company to improve the Company a little. Since my next turn is gonna be another Company, yeah. Anyway, so I already have a good card. Bottom a Mystic because it's not a good card to hit. I could be punished by not hitting at all, but now we get a Catacomb Shifter and a Warstrider. And we put the rest in any order. That's turn 3. And we have so much scrying power. Like if I sacrifice a creature, if I sacrifice a goat with Warstrider, I scry 3. Opponent has conceded from the game. Wow. This deck doesn't do anything without Citadel though. I think that is a little bit of a harsh Judgment being passed, because I already have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 power plus Priest of the Forgotten Gods in play. Another company in hand. So if I would have just attacked and accompanied into Mayhem Devil, my opponent would be more or less dead. Where did you find this invention? It went 4-1 in a preliminary that got posted. So it looks like it should excel reasonably well against like those decks like Mono-Green Planeswalkers that don't do anything. Funnily, Karn stops Citadel from tapping and killing, so which might actually matter. I have the Noxious Grasp. The sideboard is out of interactive spells, and it's of course a question of like how much do you want to do that, because you certainly don't want to have too many answers. Instead, like mostly be proactive. Priest of the Forgotten God seems like a good card against a deck that might have trouble killing it, although of course Voracious Hydra exists. Noxious Grasp hitting the Planeswalkers is good, but it misses Karn. I think I want the Mono Dogs for quickness. It's also true that the Citadel is gonna be worse on the draw if I'm gonna get pressured by a Planeswalker. It's possible they can win without a Citadel in this matchup. I think the Thoughtseize is actually very good against Trident. I think the Mayhem Devil is pretty effective. Mayhem Devil Priest of the Forgotten Gods is gonna be pretty effective. Maybe trim a Sifter, a Wolf Strider. Well, Wolf Strider enables a Devil better. I think I want to keep all the Dorks. It's pretty hard. Well, if I could have preset in response to the Hydra, it would have been easy, but you know, what if they play mulligans to 6? I have no 1-drop, so they go Elf, I go Land. They go 3-drop, I go Priest, they go 4-mana Planeswalker. If that's Vivien, then I'd lose on the spot. It kills my Priest of Forgotten Gods. Since my opponent already mulliganed on the play, they're gonna be vulnerable to Thoughtseize even more so. So I think I'll mulligan with them. This I will keep because it goes turn 1 Dork, turn 2 3-drop. So it's a little bit more powerful. It's 36. What could replace Sifter in Historic? You probably would find something. The Elves can ramp my opponent. Mayhem Devil's not gonna be able to kill them in time. Seems like a Planeswalker on the next turn, so it's gonna be either Karn or not. Or Vivien. If my opponent plays a Karn, they miss a turn here. If they play a Karn, then it's better to play Wolf Strider into a Karn to be able to attack it. Although, if they minus Karn, you can still use the Priest. You can still play the Devil, sack the Devil Goose on the next turn. If they play Hydra, they can kill the Priest of Forgotten Gods. Which they can play Wolf Strider. If they play Vivien, then on the next turn we are not assured to be able to play a 3-drop because I didn't draw my third land. This deck is only 20 lands, so. Because if I play a 3-drop, I'm not assured to be able to play a 3-drop, so again, so I guess I'll play the Priest. Sifter seems good here for mana. Yeah, Sifter is a better play than Wolf Strider. But I don't think Sifter is better than Priest. It's like the only really bad thing for when if I play Priest is when my opponent plays Hydra. If they play the Karn, it's fine. The one thing they can do is they can plus on the food, I guess. Which would be awkward. Yeah, that's something that I maybe missed a little. Alright, I'll play the second Goose. Their Karn is just drawing cards. I'll make them sacrifice the Llanowar Elves. I'll float green, use the Priest. We're gonna have 4 mana. We draw this, so we can play Elvish Mystic Wolf Strider as a free power creature. We can play Elvish Mystic Catacomb Sifter. We can play Elvish Mystic Mayhem Devil, but it's just better to play the Wolf Strider, isn't it? I could kill the Elvish Mystic, then I can't play the Devil on the next turn. What is my opponent going to be able to find? I can't think of anything that would be particularly super scary. Off of 3, it's gonna be 4 mana. I think the Elvish Mystic and Wolf Strider are gonna do the job to not to overextend the Mayhem Devil. Ballista for 2. Walking Ballista is banned in this format, so I am not assuming that my opponent will find it. I hope we get a Nykthos for generic mana soon. What do you mean? It's Spyglass for waste question mark. They can do that, but it's like absolutely minor. Like it doesn't do that much, right? Then I kill the Karn, and I play Devil, and I have a lot of pinks available. So we have a Karn board that taps for 4. In a way, I'm sad that Xerov_95, excuse me, Xerov95 is not in charge of designing Magic the Gathering cards, but in other ways I'm actually kinda sad, because that would be a curious reality to live in. Yeah, Karn minusing. Chooses Heart of Kiran. It's not particularly effective, although in a way it is. Did you know Bush did 9/11? I did. No, it's fine. We're gonna kill the Planeswalker and develop the Mayhem Devil. Keep the Priest untapped. Karn on 1 is not relevant, I guess. We can leave it on the battlefield. I mean, it's fine now because I have little creatures, so like the way they did that forces me to spend my mana poorly. As good as I could have made it for them. We drew a land, which is really good though. Drawing a land really helps me on the next turn, where we're going to be able to play a creature that has 2 bodies before combat, so even if they play Nissa, you know, we play a Sifter or Strider, sacrifice the entirety of it, kill their land, kill their Nissa. So 9/11 person. Why not pink Karn there? Because Karn is dying to being attacked, so I would rather not. Interesting they chose the Mayhem Devil, but it's like they're between a rock and a hard place. The Priest is really good against the mono green deck, like mono green. Well, I mean that's probably just true across all formats of Magic the Gathering. Don't you want to scry 2 lands? This game is gonna end without Citadel ever being played, Xerath. I played a Sifter, so if I draw a land I can play the Wall Strider number 2 post-combat, which I think is better than the other Priest, although maybe not necessarily. I probably want the second Priest actually, maybe not. I think the Strider is better than the Sifter, it's pretty close though, so very similar cards. You heard this deck can't win without Citadel, eh? And you've also heard this from a certain individual in the Twitch chat. The reason why I didn't ping the Karn from Mayhem Devil was because I killed Karn with the creature damage, so that ping would have been wasted. Can we kill? Cutthroat, Llanowar Elves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Seems lethal. Yeah, they had a Nissa in their hand the entire game, which I couldn't cast. Very nice deck, very nice deck, I really like it. Kanister, does this deck need more lands? Yes. Yes, it does. Well, I'll keep this one, because I elf this, then 2 blister pots suck, it's really strong. If it works out, my opponent doesn't have interaction. If they do have interaction, then... Please add the best new emote, Cat Jam. No. No! Oh, just a Fotsis. Thank god, not a push. I would add Cat Jam if I had empty emote slots, which I think I don't. Wayfinder is not at its best. I think Wayfinder is better than a land because of Company and Citadel, than just a straight up land. Yeah, Cat Jam is BTTV. Did I say anything that seem to think that I don't think so? Point cycle they neutralize because 4 1/1s are gonna kill them, like... Oh, I was afraid they're gonna play main the Cryo the Carnarium or some stupid shit like that, but... Just got an opt into their hand, like... What you gonna do, friend? Land. Thank you. Let's attack all... Narshed with all 3. I don't need to deal 3 to Narshed, I would just be fine dealing 2 for the most part, but maybe they also played some stupid cards that work with that. We're weak against a Kalitas. We've seen a blue-black control deck that was playing Kalitas main deck ×2. Deck for time, it's fine. Imagine playing blue-black without Inverter. Yeah, it was a good card for the deck, certainly. Heartless Act, killing my mana dork, so I guess I'll keep this. Deck is fine, kanister, question mark. It's fine, but I think it has too few lands, and it's gonna be finer when it has more lands. Kalitas obviously can be a problem, especially if my opponent has a removal spell to follow it up. They did shock, so they probably do. It's pretty rough. I attack, then if they have a removal spell, they attack the wall side, and then I'm in a super terrible spot. Should I stack the blister spots in response? Like, actually very well could be. Yeah, it'll be much better, you're so right. They did shock, so it's too weak, I think. Whoa, fuck, I didn't mean to attack with the goat. Lol. I'm probably gonna keep that. Proszę cię o rękę. Non-token, I know. Everybody knows. Dig through time. Fuck. Well, it kills the Kalitas, but it also gives my opponent many zombies. Well, that means that I can't really top the company. I have 5 zombies. Yeah. I was not very successful. I am dead. This is the type of a card that we will need to defeat with the Citadel, but still it's gonna be hard. Mindbender looks kinda bad. I mean, Priest of the Forgotten Gods deals with that. Do you have red manas in your deck? There's only 7 red lands. Maim Devil is a collected company hit more so than a card to play. Do I just keep 2 Devils or do I avoid any pushes because of Kalitas plus potentially Sharks? Yeah, it's 11 manas if you count the Gooses for the Devils, which you certainly cast them with. Really want the trophies here. The Maim Devil doesn't seem that insanely great. Assassin's Trophy can hit like everything, of course, at what price? At the price of being absolutely terrible. But there is no easy way to trigger a Revolt for push. The premise is good, but it feels like this deck is trying to fit a little bit too many ideas into one deck. And ends up being pretty bad. Like, it has too few lands, so it gets mana screwed a too high portion of the time. And probably there's a tension between Company and Citadel, yeah. Company certainly just introduces tension to your deck very often. You play the Strider, Sifter, because it's 2 removal spells. Oh, Urborg pushed my elf. What a scam. As you are splashing red for Maim Devil, why don't you try to splash blue for a card that someone told me is good at the moment, Uro. Point is taking full advantage of our Urborg. I mean, the Satyr kinda... Maybe it's just better to play more Dorks than the Satyrs, but... Uro should be too slow for Pioneer, I hope. Uro is absolutely not too slow for Pioneer. Uro is a great card in Pioneer. Don't want to lose it to a 2-2 Shark. Should have played the Mindline Reaper pre-combat then. If it gets countered, then I would attack. Liana from Origin should be nice here. Does she trigger on tokens dying though? Why is opponent playing Inverters in the band? No, they got to fill their lifelong dream of replacing Inverters with Kalitas, Traitor of Gath. Dig through time. Card is strong. It has 3 spells in hand. I have 2 trophies in hand, which are obviously trash. Who would have guessed? 2-0 into 2-3. This game is not over yet. Don't count me out. Unfortunately, that is something that happens sometimes when, like, your deck is insanely cool because it does a lot of things, but then as you play it, you realize that it just has so many cool spells in it, only because it has too few lands. So you're gonna be losing 20%, 25% of the games just because you're mana screwed baseline, and then on top of that you're also gonna lose like all the games that you would lose because those spells don't line up. And that is something that I experienced frequently when I was deck building, that I was trying to put a deck together and then realized that, you know, even though the synergies between the cards that I imagined were cool, you just couldn't fit all of that together when I was brewing for new standard formats or something. Trophy the goat? No. Can trophy the goat for land? No. Dodging Heartless Act now. But not dodging whatever removal spell my opponent is about to cast. They also had 8 life even though I didn't do anything. What do you think about taking Citadels out and putting lands in? I think you should take a Citadel out at least. The Citadel is a pretty big part of the premise of like the deck. But playing 4 is obviously with 20 lands is obviously insane. Citadel has not been played. Citadel has been discarded from my hand, or I was unable to cast it because I had too few lands, or I was under pressure. Probably on a push for this. Yeah, Citadel Refiner is the like thing that you can hit off of a company and it helps casting Citadel. Matter Reshaper. I don't think it's really doable to play it in Pioneer in a 2-color deck even. Cry of the Carnarium. Okay. Kalitas into my trophy? That seems pretty weak. They knew about the trophies. When did they play it? Oh, that's good, because we can Fozzies and then play the Wall Strider from my graveyard again. They have a Languish. It was very weird to play the Kalitas way. Then we Scry, hit a Citadel and just win. Yeah, we can play Kaiba. Citadel Wayfinder I think might be better than the Blister Pot. Blister Pot was good with this Priest in the first 2 matches. Or the first one. Alright, time for the Citadel to shine. Or by shine I mean to be countered by a top deck Censor. Should hold priority because I can hit another company, which I actually did. Don't want to play the Midnight Reaper though, because I'm gonna die. WTF, just hold priority and I have to caucus. As I said, I should have hold priority. Midnight Reaper is part of Citadel, that's true. Because they will trigger, they will deal damage to you before you gonna drain them for 10. Actually we won somehow, but that definitely didn't feel as I should have won. As if I should have won. Trophies are so trash, but it did kill a Kalitas. My banner is so trash too. We have Cry, so Devil is good because it has free toughness. I also have Languish. Right, this already has free toughness, but I have so few red sources that this is just not responsible to play a Devil in my deck, so I guess I should not. The Mindbender is probably gonna get stuck in my hand and I'll never cast it. The Blister Pots are pretty weak too, in general. Thing is that Bolas Citadel also wants relatively few lands in your deck so that you keep hitting spells, so that is a really hard thing to build for. Maybe you splash blue instead of red for Uro. Uro is not an interactive card, so Uro is good when your other cards are interactive cards, which in this deck they are not. We took Wall Strider instead of a company with Fozzies? That's the reason, I guess. It's still like weird. If you play Bolas' Citadel, maybe also put Sensei's Divining Top and Aetherflex Reservoir into your deck. Divining Top is not legal. Croxa boys. Draw Step Company! I think they are likely have a sweeper in hand, but I don't think I can sensibly not play the second priest. It's like play into the sweeper and lose. Seems like we are flooding. Too many lands. As expected. Oh, nice land. But now we escape Wall Strider on the next turn. Come on. How do I draw so many now? For Crocs I'll need to play more lands too, because you need to play 3-color mana base. Citadel. Reaper. If I attack I deal 5, then they gain 3, so I guess it's worth attacking. Well, now if I would play the Citadel I would have low likelihood of flooding. There's also the tension between needing green early on turn 1 and then also having triple black. Downfall. Expected. Thing is that Blister Pots and Llanowar Elves are also parts of your draw where you flood. Like I'm drawing a super high amount of lands here, but there is still, I could be drawing Llanowar Elves and it will be as bad. Or Blister Pots. Yeah, I've been here for 5 minutes, so you've been trashing this deck for all 5. Well, have you seen the games? Alright, Citadel. Reaper. No removal. I have removal for Kalitas, but I don't have removal for Kalitas right now. So this is good against my draw. Yeah, Kalitas good versus sacrifice decks. I'm casting a spell, so I'm going to concede because I think a spell is too much to defeat. So pretty interesting, swift drop from a 2-0 to 2-3. But I think I diagnosed this deck problems, namely that it's a little bit bad, and you've got to run hard to do well. It might be that this deck is just too scuffed in general to be a powerful deck. So it's not something that I would be extremely willing to work on. But if I were putting more time into this deck, I would be trying the black-green version with more mana in it. And that's it.